me to switch you? Okay, ready? Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome. Today is Monday, April 8th. This is the public comment for the month of April. Every month, the residents, voters can come down and talk to the council members on any issues they would like to talk about. So welcome to those who are present, and welcome to those who are watching us in public access television station. The first person, let me tell everyone that everyone will have 3 minutes, and everyone here, no, Ms. Hyson, not 5, 3 minutes. And so basically, please don't, address the, do not address each council member, speak to the council as a whole. So let's get started. And the first person up we have is our treasurer, Carmen Sierra. Madam Treasurer, please, the floor is yours.
Ooh. Thank you, Madam President and council members. As we know, it's very difficult to recruit community leaders to serve on boards and commissions. And when we do have them for a long time, it is critical to recognize them when they're ready to leave. So I'd like to spend a minute to talk about and honor Peter Stephen as he ends his 20 years of service as the chairman of the City of Hartford Pension Commission. A national recognized business leader and a third-generation resident of Hartford, Chairman Stevens has constantly given back to the city he was born and raised in. Chairman Stevens is the president of JCJ Architecture. Since joining JCJ in 1988, he has led the firm to national prominence, growing it from a single location in Hartford to 160 plus employees organization with offices in Hartford, Boston, New York, Las Vegas, and it keeps on. His commitment and dedication to his hometown is evident in the countless volunteer hours and expertise he has contributed to, including the boards of many local organizations, such as the Connecticut Convention and Sports Bureau, the Hartford Scholar Program, the Children's Museum, the Watkinson School, the Montessori School of Greater Hartford, and the University of Hartford College of Engineering, Technology, and Architecture. Since 2005, Peter has served as chairman of the City of Hartford's Pension Commission. Under his leadership, he has artfully guided this body, which oversees and advises the city treasurer regarding the investment of the city retirement funds. Chairman Stevens' integrity, transparency, expertise, dynamic personal style have been key factors in the success of the management and operation of the Pension Commission and retirement funds. A strong, fair, open-minded leader, Chairman Stevens' passion for excellence is infectious, and his stewardship drove both the pension and the retirement funds to unprecedented levels of performance and achievement. Most notable among his many accomplishments was his commitment to adding diverse firms to the investment manager lineup. During his leadership, in good fiscal time and bad, including the dark days when the city of Hartford almost went into the edge of bankruptcy, Chairman Stevens made sure the actuarial basis of the funds were sound, and that hundreds of millions of dollars in benefits to approximately 3,500 retirees were paid out properly and on time. Always available to provide counsel when needed, Mr. Stevens' passion and leadership, as well as his dedication of time and expertise to the Pension Commission, were not just significant, but singular. Chairman Stevens' competency contributed greatly to both the growth of the fund and its long-term success. His presence will be truly missed. Thank you, Peter Stevens. Hopefully, in the future, when the administration makes changes like this, it is important to recognize them before they leave. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Treasurer. Next up, we will have Hyacinth Yenny.
Good evening, everyone. It's a beautiful day today. I'm Hyacinth Yenny, Chair of the Maple Avenue Revitalization Group. I'm here to speak on a few issues. Last year, former President Council Molly Rosado had brought up a resolution about smoking around playground. I want to bring it up now because I want to let you know how important it is. I'm very much concerned about our children that have parents that smoke at home, and then they have to come to the park and have to smell the same thing, the vaping issue. I'm going to let you know that in a few years we're going to have a lot of health issue because people think vaping is not bad. It is bad for your health, your lungs, okay? So I'm here to make sure that that resolution is brought up again, come before, so we can get that moving. And I hear there was some concern about how is it going to be enforced. Well, you know, it's not a matter of you just put a sign up at the playground, and I'm not sure how many of you look at St. Francis Hospital where they draw a blue line around the sidewalk to say no smoking. That's easy to do. That doesn't need police enforcement. We as residents can point it out if we see somebody smoking at that play area. Hey, there is a sign here, you cannot smoke there. They don't need to worry about it. Yeah, who's going to enforce it? No, you don't worry about that. As resident, if I take my kid to the playground, I can tell that person out there, look, you cannot smoke here because there is a law that you cannot do that. So I'm hoping that you sure can move this agenda forward. I'd like to see that happen. The next thing I have is there's a resolution on block watch. I want to speak a little about that because I have deep concern about, I love the fact that we all need a block watch in our avenue. And when residents come to our NRZ meeting, I always say to them, you are your block watch person on your street because you're going to come to us and let us know what's happening on your avenue, and so we can get it addressed, with the police or whoever needs to be addressed. When we talk about block watch, it's a great thing in a way. However, there is an issue with there because right now our chief has said, oh, our CSO can no longer come to our meetings. And I have a big issue with that. Sending my lieutenant or my sergeant to come to a meeting does nothing for us. I want the guys who are on the front line to come and tell us what they do. And I see that lots of different when they come and tell us what's happening because they're actually the one that's doing the work out there. And so if the chief is going to say, no, they can no longer come to our meeting, I have a big problem with that. Because we talk about building relationship. That's how we build relationship, because those residents can speak about what's happening in their neighborhood, whether it's private or public. They can do that. So we have to be concerned about that when you talk about block watch on every street, whoever may come. We need to make sure that we have everything in order before we can do that, because it's a good thing to do, all right? And the next thing is the red light camera. We need to move forward on the red light camera. I need to see some movement on that, okay? And we need to also get the inspector going around for the hair salon and the barber shops. I'm not sure if development service or the health department has got someone to go around. Maybe I need to bring that up at the health committee meeting. But these things that has to happen to make our city work better than what it is working right now. So many beauty shop or hair salon or nail salon is out there that's not even registered in the state or in the city. So we need to do a better job of that. So it's important for us to have the budget to make sure development service or the health department can get all these things done. So I just want to bring this to your attention. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you. Next up, Heather Nelson. She's not here yet. Not here yet, okay. We'll go back to her. Ms. Leslie Hammond?
Leslie Hammond, 1 Linden Place, and thank you, council members for being here. It really means a lot to come speak to you. A few things on my mind. Batterson, I'm just going to mention it every month. Now we're in April. June is a couple months off. You know, we talk a lot about recreation. We talk a lot about violence in the city, and we have 200 plus acres sitting there. It could be a nature preserve. Maybe we can't swim there. We could do boating. We could have picnics. We could do many things, nature walks. And, you know, if you guys just don't have the money or the political will, then let's sell it. But let's not have it go on. It's been 9 years now since 2015. It's been closed. It's embarrassing and it's unacceptable. Hate to put it on all of you. Obviously, there's other councils and mayors that did nothing. But please do something. If the state can take it over, great. If they can't, I'm sure there's a developer that wants to buy the land and we can use that money for our parks. So that would really upset me if we did that, but I'd rather we do something than nothing. The other thing on my mind is a cultural affairs person. I know that Mayor Bronin talked about one. I remember it clearly. He was going to use COVID funds for it. And I know that the current mayor has talked about it with his cultural affairs task force. So we have so many amazing, you know, cultural events in the city. You know, of course we have the big theaters, but we have a lot of neighborhood cultural events, artists. I'm sure you all know about them. And I get so frustrated when I see them in the Hartford News and I missed it because nobody said anything about it. I've seen things at Bushnell Park that aren't that well attended because nobody knew about it. So we just need somebody that's really good with social media. I'm sure there's people out there and, you know, maybe they could go to the neighborhood and put up signs or whatever, because we have to celebrate us. We always keep wanting to be a big deal, have the stadium, we have the, you know, the governor wants to have the Whalers back or whatever. We have so much here, and people love Hartford because of our diversity, and we have such a variety of community and celebrations that nobody else has, right? I mean, that's why we live here, because we love that. So please, let's get moving on that. I'm sure you can get it in the budget. It can't be that much money for that person. And lastly, I haven't been following that closely with the superintendent, and I don't know when her time is up, but there is one thing I cannot stand, and it happens to be happening the last few years, is when people do not take responsibility and they point the finger. And that just is so upsetting to me. Maybe the principals were at fault, maybe somebody else was at fault, but the fact that she's not taking responsibility is really unacceptable, and I'm sure you know that too. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Hammond. I'm not sure if someone was virtual. Dawn Steele? I'm not sure if she signed on. Did Heather come as yet? No. No? All right. How about Zoe Chatfield? There you go.
Throughout my life, I've had the opportunity to experience Hartford through many different lenses. As an elementary and high school student, a volunteer with community art events, as a resident, a taxpayer, a voter, and through various roles participating in both civic and nonprofit work around the city. Through my own personal experiences and through the numerous conversations I've had with community members over the years, I've been able to see the firsthand beauty and hardship experienced in Hartford. This city has incredible qualities and incredible challenges. I admire and appreciate all those in this room, both on this side and on this side, that work to make the city a better place. And unfortunately, a lot of residents still continue to feel disenfranchised and disillusioned with our city systems. That's why today I'm speaking on behalf and in favor of the work of Hartford Decides. I speak as a voter on past projects and as a very new board member, as a resident and multi-generational resident of this city, and as someone who intentionally pursued an education and career in community development and planning, in large part because of my belief in Hartford and in the ways in which we can make it a better place for all residents. The process and the outcomes of participatory budgeting are not a net positive investment by city leadership. I appreciate that Hartford Decides has been given an allocation on this year's budget, so thank you for that. And I invite you to consider increasing the amount allotted to it. These are funds that will go towards capital improvements in one way or another, and it makes sense to have the city maintain some discretion over that. However, residents know their streets, neighborhoods, and favorite public spots best. Their insights and direction are an asset to city decision-making. A larger project budget will build enthusiasm from the public, invite more ideation, more participation, and bigger results. Residents deserve to feel a sense of ownership over the process and their own communities, and this initiative allows it beyond the confines of a yearly budget hearing with public comment or emailing a council aide and hoping your voice is considered amongst a full inbox. Furthermore, the process of ideation, of project development, and of voting allow residents to exercise their voices in multiple ways and feel heard in a way that is not always a case with traditional government processes. It's no secret that voter turnout in our city is low. I don't know if anyone looked at the numbers from the last election, but they weren't great. That's another reason why Hartford Decides and the vote around Hartford Decides is so vital. It allows people who feel their voices don't matter, because that is a reason that you hear a lot from people who choose not to vote in their local elections. It gives them a way to have decision-making that they can see over actual money that is money they paid into, and actual decisions. I'm sorry, I'll be really fast, I'll skip through stuff. Basically, it's a tool that allows people to have control and see the effects of what their voices and their votes can impact in their communities. And then one other thing that is on a different note, the city is long overdue for a reestablishment of an Office of Arts and Culture. We have a vibrant arts community, and we have so many cultural assets, and it is my personal belief, and I don't think I'm alone in this, that until there is a dedicated internal infrastructure through an office, or at the very least an employee, to arts and culture in this city, we cannot claim as city councilors, as the mayor's office, as an institution, that we support the arts in this city. Thank you.
Great, thank you, Zoe. Next up will be, let me find my cheat sheet. Corinne Walker. Good evening.
Hi, good evening. My name is Karan Walker. I'm here to talk about a pothole claim denial that has caused me financial hardship. The pothole damage was almost $2,000. This incident occurred February 2nd, 2024, approximately around 7:30 p.m. It was at the intersection of Windsor and Sanford Streets, or actually a little after that, between 800 and 700 Windsor Street. I was leaving my grandmother's house. I'm her primary caretaker, so I was leaving there. She's 80. I received a denial of the claim based on Connecticut Statute 13A-149. The claim representative said the city didn't know about the damage, and I disagree with that.
They're coming up. We need to bring
My experience with the city's insurance company, PMA companies, has been incredibly frustrating. My initial interaction with the claims rep, which was Owen Murphy, it just was not a good experience at all. He dodged my calls. I had no no claim number. I had to go through leaps and bounds to text him through blocked numbers, Google numbers. It was very hard and a very frustrating process. Nothing was addressed promptly with him. He was honestly unfit for the case. I even had to really search him on LinkedIn, where I found he has only been in his position for maybe less than a year and is actually an apprentice, so maybe that's why he wasn't able to give me all the information that I needed. I believe the city knew about the damage prior to February 2nd because all the parts of Windsor Street were paved. In the direction going towards downtown, everything was out there and smooth. Construction workers and paving trucks were all parked on Windsor Street and Sanford Streets, and the damage was in clear view of that, where my car was damaged. I would see it often when I'm going to different church rehearsals, visiting my grandmother, that the damage was there and they were paving, and I'm sure they could see it if I saw it from my car. My question is, why would they stop at that particular place where it's most busy? To me, that was a negligent act. Where my car was damaged is an extremely busy area. It's just before the meadows leading to 91 North and South. I believe the city had a duty to protect its citizens and regional residents and their property. There's no way the city and its workers were not aware that this damage was there prior to the incident. The city is notoriously known for the upkeep of its roads. I'm someone who grew up in Hartford, literally around the corner from the incident, and I'm currently a dedicated volunteer to the community. I've invested countless hours in serving at various churches, and also the Greater Hartford Arts Council, and making a commitment to Hartford being a better place. But I can't help but feel overlooked and unheard in this matter. This has been a long, drawn-out process that has caused me to miss work for a week. I was unable to drive to Yukon, which is my place of unemployment. I've had to borrow cars. I had been inconvenienced by many other ways, including not being able to support my elderly grandmother. As I stated, I am her caregiver. I don't want compensation for all of that. What I do ask is that I respectfully be reimbursed for the damage caused by the potholes to my vehicle. The financial strain of paying almost $2,000 for damage that I was not responsible for has been devastating. I ask the council to please consider that. Thank you.
Mr. Walker, there's a young lady sitting in the back of the room with a red jacket. Could you give her your name, your address, and a contact information?
Yes.
So we can reach out to you?
I'll do that. Thank you.
That'd be great. Thank you so very much.
Thank you for your time.
Okay, go ahead. All right. Next up, we have Brother Lovejoy, who's going to be from Hybrid. Brother Lovejoy, you there?
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Go ahead, sir.
Greetings, Madam President, City Council, esteemed council members, Brother Kelvin Lovejoy. First, I want to say, as a proud resident of Hartford, I appreciate taking this moment to speak about a real tragedy that has been facing us on Albany and Blue Hills Avenue. And that is our young people, teenagers, who attend various schools in Hartford and around Hartford that congregate at the McDonald's location at Bravo's Plaza, Albany and Blue Hills Avenue. For the last 6 months, we have seen violence, people attacked. We have seen drug transaction, drug use going on in the McDonald's and around that area. And we really need to do something, not so much about the young people, but about keeping our community safe. We have put together a campaign called Safety, working with Blue Hills Civic Association and other organizations in the area, the Brother Carl Hardrick Institute, Hartford Communities That Care, the library, many different stakeholders, residents. Our goal is to make our neighborhoods safe, but we need help. There's only so much that we can do. We're not asking for more police, although the police must be a partner in this issue. We need policy that will help us transform this into a safety zone. Can I still be heard?
Yes, sir, you can. Keep going ahead. You still have a few minutes left.
Wonderful. As I start to wrap this up, Madam President,
All right, let me finish. Let's
I
finish
would
this so we
like
can
to
talk after.
invite our city council members
Just hold on a
to
second.
come and visit with us so that we can take you on a tour of what we call the safety zone. This is a great week because students are out of school, yes, but next week and the week after, it would be a prime time, just around about 2:30 to 3:30, to witness what's going on in this area. We believe that with partnerships, working with our city officials, funders, and others from the business community, parents and schools, that we can make a safety zone and make a better Hartford. Thank you. I relinquish the rest of my time.
Thank you, Brother Lovejoy. Up next, we'll have Cheryl Banks. Just this one last time, because remember, public comments, we don't normally, we go outside and talk to them. But we can go, Brother Lovejoy,
Thank you, Madam President, for allowing me a minute. Hi, Brother Lovejoy. So I think a month ago, Jendaya Scott Miller from Angel of Edgewoods called a press conference at Bravo and McDonald's on Albany Avenue where they're addressing an issue with individuals selling drugs. Is this the same location?
Actually, I was there for that press conference, and Miss Jendaya, with the great work that she does in our city, was speaking about juvenile delinquency, not so much about drugs, but that our young people, our teenagers, across the city of Hartford, but more specifically, we're talking about North Hartford, need activities, need supervision, they need resources. This just happens to be a microcosm of what's going on throughout the city. And so again, we're not calling for more policing. We're not calling for stricter laws around our teenagers. What we are saying is that we need resources to step in, not as the police force, but as the peace force.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Lovejoy. Up next is Cheryl Banks.
Thank you, Madam President. I concur with everything that Brother Lovejoy said, and I would like to relinquish my time to another speaker.
Okay. So then we will go to Reagan Bird.
Hi, thank you, Councilwoman. I just wanted to tag along with Brother Lovejoy. Our safety campaign is imperative to our community. We're outside every day, even during the troubling times, witnessing the chaos that needs to come to a close. So yeah, any way that the city and Blue Hills can work alongside each other to push our safety campaign throughout the city, most importantly at this intersection of Blue Hills and Albany Avenue, wonderful. That's the goal we're trying to get.
Great. Thank you so very much. We have no one else signed up to speak, but we have about a few minutes before we're going to take a break before going to our 7 o'clock council meeting. So if anyone would like to speak to us, Mr. Mc...
I got you. All right, I'm in. I hear it.
Okay. If those online, could you please mute yourself, please? Thank you. Mr. McGarry, you've got a few minutes, sir.
I want to thank the council for this meeting. I want to ask them to, my name is Mike McGarry, I live at 31 Woodland Street, Unit 10H in Hartford. I'm very concerned about what I see on the agenda now, the resolution to study the parking problems in the city of Hartford. I would hope that you look into certain things. For example, the guilty till you're proven innocent. If you decide to, you come in and you go to them and say, look, I didn't really get this ticket correctly. So you get a hearing, and if perchance they don't agree, you're charged another $15. Also, you had to park downtown during a business day, and there's very little parking downtown. You had to take time away from your work to go to that complaint and go to that hearing. I had a suggestion to the parking authority that they seemed to ignore. Here, every Thursday night, you can come in and talk to the town clerk's office. We're open till 7, is that correct, on Thursdays? No, I'm sorry, the tax office, excuse me. The tax office or the assessment office are here on Thursday nights. That makes a lot of sense. Why can't we have the hearings for the parking tickets or other infractions? If you want to complain about it, if you want to state your case, why can't we have an evening for that? Parking authority. If we can shift our hours around at City Hall, as you've done, thank you, why can't the parking authority give people a chance to come in the evening when they're not working and when the parking is free? So I would suggest if you're talking to the parking authority, it seems that you are, that you bring that up. Now, in another suggestion, the other night there was 3 hours of training. In fact, I was trained in those 3 hours to work the polls. This last election didn't take much training, but the next one will. But if you come here during the day, there's a 2-hour parking limit. So anyone who has a car and parks downtown can't abide by the law. You get 3 hours of training and 2 hours that you can park. And if you go before the 2 hours and try to put money in, it won't take it. So you gotta time it pretty good. You either gotta run out during your training or get a ticket. I know several people that worked with me at the polls that got tickets because they came, they sat for the 2.5 hours or so, come back out to get a ticket. My suggestion is, and I will try to pass this on to other people, other officials, that there be a placard, a simple placard for those that drive downtown, and they get their placard and they put the placard there for the 2.5 hours they're there. They shouldn't have to pay, first of all, to come to training, but secondly, they shouldn't be stuck with a $45 ticket for doing their duty. Just a few suggestions, and I hope you get into it with the parking authority. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McGarry. Seeing that we have no one else to speak before us, then I will call this public comment to an end. Please stay with us for a 7 o'clock council meeting. Good night, and see you guys in about 45 minutes.